Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is my Bank presentation. So, just as an introduction, the initial brief when clarifying our goals, one of the main things I looked at and was interested in was the issues of scams centered on electronic payments. So, when doing research on this issue, some of the main points I came upon was how online banking trust is built on security and transparency. Also, how specific protection strategies such as name check, customer checks, and like in-app notifications were a big thing and still improving. And also how the response to victims was a thing that people are still addressing currently. So after that, I conducted some user interviews of people between the ages of about 25 to 60 or so. And during these interviews, I interviewed topics such as understanding their current banking habits, their reactions to security interventions and scams currently, and maybe what they think the future of online banking could be and things that they think could be improved or want improved. After that interview, I gathered my information and decided to do an affinity map. And from the infinity mapping, these two topics were the ones that I was interested in and I felt was very relevant. So things such as what makes them feel secure when paying and things about what could be done to make them feel secure in the future payments. So the main four insights from that and the affinity mapping were these. The one I decided to focus on was how users want clear and transparent recipient verification, mostly in things such as a name matching, because it does build their confidence and ease their anxiety when making payments. So the opportunity I decided to go forward with was how we might build confidence in verifying new payment recipients by offering transparent and robust identity confirmation directly within the payment flow. And from there, I started ideating on how we could approach this. So starting with the crazy eights, a lot of these were just pages on maybe how to do warnings or verifying. From there, I looked into taking maybe these panels and ideas and turning them into more of a user flow. So these were some of the initial ideas, and I ended up with this one as something I could go forward on. As you can see, they were paid parts of this that were taken from the Crazy Eight ideation process. So I decided to go forward with this specific user flow idea because for the desirability, I felt that it had a very the desire the need for a robust pay verification, like name and account matching, was very important, and it's something that people were saying they wanted during the interviews. As for viability in the business sense, the long-term value from increase, there will be long-term value from increased user engagement. As for feasibility, it should be very feasible as it leverages existing technology such as PayID and how it matches names and accounts. From there, I attempted a low fidelity prototype using a paper prototype. So parts of the paper prototype came from obviously the user flow ideation previously, as well as a few parts from the Crazy Eights that I decided to add in when I realized it was missing a few panels. So there are certain aspects of this. So I decided to continue on with low fidelity wireframe prototype actually. It's another iteration of it where it gave me a more clear understanding of how this would work as a like digitally. Obviously, there are a few things I realized that was missing and went back to the ideation to add it in. So certain aspects I felt was I considered when I was designing this was something such as the Von Stroke effect. So things that stand out. So I wanted the warning sign to stand out, and I made it a solid waffle color, therefore. the idea of a new pay verified page. So trust and reliability is a very big part of this. So creating a page that's very clearly saying that this is a verified person, I felt would build a sense of security for the customer. And the verifying loading pop-up was also something to provide visual feedback, so it can manage a user's expectation and alleviate some of their anxiety while waiting for the verification. From there, I user tested this wireframe, and I've had some positive feedback as well as things that I could improve. So the things that I could improve was things such as that warning icon, which they felt shouldn't need to be clicked on to look into what it was and should show up anyways. Also, save pays should just happen anyways as it's a new one. Maybe possibly a post notification payment or confirmation so they didn't have to go back into the app to see if this pay was sent their money. The verified message was also on for about a second or so, which was quite short, and they felt it could be longer. And also, the more button, they weren't sure what it was for because it was still a prototype at that point. So from there, I took that information and decided to start iterating for a mid-fidelity prototype. So for the mid-fidelity prototype, this is the first part of it. I started adding in a bit more color. And as well as for that, I changed the pages for new payment and such and selecting what type of payment. This is a pop-up from the bottom of this, so it can optimize for a bit more just easy access for people. So that I also addressed the save new pay issue. So that is automatically saved now. This similar to before, the loading pop-up was something to provide some visual feedback to manage the user expectations. And for the next part of the prototype, the rest of it, I addressed how the warning icon should show up regardless. So now that pop-up will show up if there is an issue anyways, even if you don't want. The little icon on the side on as seen here is also there in case people were not maybe didn't read it or missed it just about and need to check again. I also addressed what was the more information button. So more progressive disclosure. This is extra information essentially. If you need it, I did not want to put it on anyways because it would just be a bit of information overload. As intro, that little warning logo. And also the verified message was on for too short of a time. Instead of having a whole page of it, I decided that the next page, which would have been the payment at the top, it would also just say, yes, this new pay is verified, and it would stay there. If they weren't sure, they'd probably see it as one of the first things and be like, okay, it's verified, it's fine. And I guess as the last thing, they mentioned a post notification of payment confirmation. So I feel like that's something I could work on in the future, but for now, it is in the notice where it mentions a 24-hour hold time, and it lets them know that they will be notified and they can change it in the settings if they want. So as for future and next steps, I think that some of the next steps would just be further user testing, taking that information, maybe iterating more, and eventually just creating a more high fidelity prototype, maybe looking more to what colors or logos and such. And yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you for listening to my presentation. This has been a great course. Thanks.